Attorneys for Jean Roney, Jean Charles were back in court this afternoon after their client was arrested upon his return to the Bahamas, souring the welcome his family had initially anticipated. Jean Charles was subsequently taken to the Jamaica Road Detention Center, this following an emergency stay of Supreme Court Justice Gregory Hilton's decision to have Charles brought back here from Haiti. Arguing against such a decision was Queen's counsel Fred Smith, who charged that his client be immediately released from unlawful custody. Following back-and-forth arguments, Justice Hilton ruled that Jean Charles be freed from custody pending the full hearing of the government's stay application. Legal counsel for the government, Lauren Klein, eventually compromised. Following his client's release, a jubilant Mr. Smith spoke with reporters.
That shows a great measure of responsibility on the part of the government, and I hope they address these situations in that fair way in the future. These immigration issues are very sensitive, and everything that the Human Rights Association promotes is to try and deal with them in a humane manner and respecting everybody. Doing it with brute force just doesn't, it dehumanizes our entire society. So it's very important to deal with it as responsibly as the Attorney General and the respondents dealt with it today, and I'm very grateful to them for that.
Also present at this afternoon's hearing were Foreign Affairs Minister Darren Henfield and Attorney General Carl Bethel, who said despite what's perceived, the government only wants to uphold the law and that the judge's decision last Thursday will have great ramifications for the country.
Look at the facts of the situation. Mr. Roney is 35 years old. Our Constitution only provides an entitlement or a right for persons who are born here when they reach 18 and between the age of 18 and 19. We are in a position that is uncovered by the Constitution or the law of the Bahamas. And so the decision in this matter will have ramifications. It will be an important decision by the Court of Appeal, and it will also, more importantly, guide the legislature in terms of any changes that may be needed to clarify the law of what happens with persons who remain in the Bahamas after their constitutional entitlement ends without having made an application pursuant to the Constitution.
We also caught up with the man at the center of all this, flanked by family members as stoic Jean Charles offered up few words.
That's right. That's all I can say. I'm hungry now. I'm going to get some going.
The hearing is set to continue on Thursday at 10 a.m. Well, the opposition's national chairman has since issued a statement on the ruling, charging that it's important that this matter be clarified all the way up to the Privy Council. This means the government should continue to pursue what it is doing and not relent, as the security of the country's borders is at stake, as well as the value of our citizenship. Senator Fred Mitchell, who has long served as immigration minister, further opined that while the matter is being appealed, the law should be immediately amended and enforced retrospectively, if necessary, to ensure that what has been seen to be deficient in dealing with undocumented non-nationals will no longer be deficient. The PLP, he says, agrees that this is not necessary, but should be done out of an abundance of caution and to prevent further judicial adventurism. In other news, the opposition takes a tough stance against a controversial parliamentary ruling that saw the suspension of one of its senior members. In this report, our Gillian Gray tells us more about what the Progressive Liberal Party has planned for the next House sitting.
Come Wednesday, opposition MPs will attempt to enter the House of Assembly, defying House Speaker Helston Moultrie's contentious ruling against PLP Representative Glenys Hannah Martin. Mrs. Hannah Martin was locked in a fiery exchange with the Speaker that ended with an order that she be suspended and not allowed to enter the precincts of Parliament until otherwise determined. In a joint press conference at the Progressive Liberal Party Farrington Road headquarters on Sunday, PLP leader Philip Davis charged that the Speaker's ruling was based on a personal vendetta.
We deem the decision of the Speaker null and void, as it does not comport or comply with the rules and procedures of the House.
That's right.
And therefore, We intend to go to the House of Assembly on Wednesday morning.
Setting aside his suspended member, Mr. Davis further argued that last Wednesday's ruling breached House rules, thereby making it invalid.
Rule 88 of the Rules of Procedure of the House requires a motion being made by the leader of the House, which is to be voted upon to enable suspension. To be named and suspended, the member has to have committed a set of the offenses set out in the rules. And you have to identify the offense for which you are naming and suspending the member. None of that. None was done in this case.
In her own defense, Mrs. Hannah Martin maintains that the House Speaker's methods to substantiate his claims were unprecedented.
Secondly, so what he did was very extraordinary. He went outside the official record of Parliament. I've never seen that. I've never seen a speaker seek to escape the record to go and do something else to support whatever he was seeking to do. The second thing he did, which was, I was shocked beyond, to be honest with you, I was more shocked than anything else. He castigated the staff of the House Assembly, who have been there for so many years, who successfully been. So he went outside the official record. He assaulted verbally, suggested the integrity of, who could not be trusted, of members of the House Assembly.
Now, our news team understands that the House is set to vote on the length of time Mrs. Hannah Martin will remain suspended. For JCN News, I'm Jillian Gray.
There was every assurance that that vexing fire at the New Providence landfill would be fully extinguished over the weekend, but the smoke emanating as a result today forced school administrators to make a snap decision to close at least 2 schools in neighboring communities, St. John's College as well as H.O. Nash Jr. St. John's Principal Dr. Neveline Evans and Education Director Marcellus Taylor.
And it's really so sad because we dealt with a similar situation last year, so that really needs to be addressed because we are looking also at instruction time. Take away the activities, but the instruction time, which is so very, very important. You're talking about 6 hours. How do we make up 6 hours? Mock exams are approximately 4 weeks away. And so therefore these 6 hours were really critical and crucial, and students are already working on Saturdays.
You know, the principal and the school administrators, superintendent, they were there. They assessed, in their estimation, it was a high smell, and so they thought that it would be better to close the school because of that, because in the past some people have gotten sick and so forth, so they didn't want to unduly expose people.
Our news team also caught up with 2 parents of St. John's students who welcomed the fact that the school took no chances.
Well, with regards to school being closed because of the smoke from the dump, it is frustrating because this time that they're going to be missing work that they now have to go and make up. But I mean, exactly what else could the school do? The children's best interest come first. I prefer them not to be in school and to be there, and then some other issues come up. But we have had government after government come and go, and it doesn't seem like the dump situation is going to get any better.
If that fire burn anything, and any cold front, anything we have, it sits on you. I live in the middle of the island, and that sits in your house and your curtain. It really is horrible, man. We breathing it in the house. They said they had to let it out because they called all of the parents because the smoke was really bad. You're still breathing it in, the after effect and it drift over, but it's still here. And I can understand that. I take no chances with help.
That aside, Dr. Evans insists something must be done.
Because see, the factor here is also a serious health factor. You know, we have children who are asthmatics. We have children who are managing chest situations now just because of the time of the year it is. And so we really have to keep that in mind with making a final decision.
The schools are expected to reopen on Tuesday. Meantime, the government is expected to put forth a request for proposal or RFP for potential investors and management services for the deconstruction, remediation, and operation of the landfill this week. Environment Minister Ramald Ferreira has explained that the successful applicant will be required to pay a non-refundable registration fee of $10,000 and is expected to submit proposals to the Tenders Board by March 31st. The plan is to select a preferred bidder by May. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.